Hello homeschool moms, and welcome to the very first Homeschool Q&A video. Actually, it's not the first Homeschool Q&A video that I've done. I have done some in the past, but this is the first in a series that I'm going to be doing every single Friday. So if you've got homeschool questions, leave them in the comments below and I will try to answer them in upcoming Homeschool Q&A videos on Fridays here on my channel. So make sure to subscribe as well. Today I want to let you know up front what questions I'm going to tackle, and then we'll jump into those questions. So the first question that I'm going to tackle is, how do you handle keeping up with your big kids' activities and your little ones' nap times? That is a great question. So we'll tackle that one first in just a minute. The next question that we're going to go tackle is, do you go to co-op or any other type of group for electives like PE and field trips? And then the last one I'm going to try to tackle in this video is, what has changed the most in your homeschooling journey from the beginning to now? So first off, how do you handle keeping up with your big kids' activities and your little ones' naps? Well, let me say, it is a juggling act. I don't care how long you've been homeschooling. This is my 15th year. It is still a juggling act, and really ultimately requires a lot of prayer and guidance from the Lord and counsel with my husband, and just talking about what are the immediate needs of the kids and how can we meet the needs of the older kids and still have some kind of schedule and consistency and nap time for the little ones. In the very first year of my homeschooling journey, I did not do good here. I thought, well, surely my oldest daughter has got to be in every single activity and class that there is, because I want her to be socialized and I don't want her to miss out on anything. And so here I am with a new little baby, dragging that poor baby to every single thing that my older daughter was in, and it was exhausting for the baby and it was exhausting for me. And so then we kind of swung the pendulum the other way and ended up saying no activities for my older daughter. She's just going to have to sacrifice for the little ones. They need consistency, they need routine, they need structure, they need those naps. I need them to have those naps. And so we didn't do anything. And I think both of those extremes were not good for the majority of the time. Those were not good extremes for us to live in. I really needed to find a balance. And so right now, kind of where we're at is, I try to have just a routine for our day where we do school in the morning, we've got nap times in the afternoon, and rest time for the older kids, kind of quiet time. And try to limit outside activities to just 1 or 2 days a week, so that the little ones really are only missing 1 or 2 naps. And really, I'd like to keep it at 1 nap, because they often miss a nap on Sundays if we're depending on the church that we were previously in. Now we're in a new state and looking for a new church, but in our previous church, just if we stayed longer and participated in activities and things like that, they didn't always get their nap in on Sundays. So I really wanted them to only miss 2 naps a week, 1 really if possible. So it really was just trying to find activities that all my older kids could do that happened in the same day, or that happened outside of nap time, which is really hard, isn't it? Because it seems like everybody plans the soccer practice or piano lessons, or all those things seem to fall right during nap time. So again, it really is a juggling act, really going to the Lord and just praying and asking for wisdom as you make that decision for your family. There have been seasons where I've said, you know what, my older child really needs to do a particular activity. I just feel like they've maybe missed out on a lot in previous years, and I just really feel like they need this one particular activity. An example is volleyball. My oldest daughter wanted to do volleyball for years, and now here we were in her junior and senior year of high school. Obviously first the junior year and then the senior year. And I thought, man, I really want her to be able to play volleyball with her friends for these last 2 years of school. And so we did make that sacrifice. Practices were right at nap time. But I found that as we prayed about it, and my husband and I talked, and we felt like that was a good decision. We really needed to commit to that. And those practices were 3 days a week. That would have been messing up 3 nap schedules schedules. We committed to it because we felt like that was going to be the best thing for her and what she really needed. And you know, the Lord provided. The Lord provided other moms that helped carpool with me so that in the end, we really didn't have to miss nap time at all. I had other moms that just came in and said, hey, I've got all older kids. I will take your daughter to and from the volleyball practices. And so the Lord really provided there. But so that's just one example. Other times we've had to say, you know what? The older ones do have to sacrifice and miss out on some things because the little ones do need naps, especially, when they're in that a year or 2 years old. They have to, if they don't get their naps, they are just grumpy, and it throws off the nighttime routine, and it throws off the whole next day. They're grumpy the whole next day. And so we really felt like if we wanted to have a happy, pleasant home to be in, we had to sacrifice some of those activities that the older kids wanted to be in to keep the routine and the naps for the younger ones. So again, there really is no great answer for me to give you. We've done things differently in each season. Sometimes I feel like looking back, we didn't make the best choice, and other times, like I said, I've seen the Lord provide when we stepped out and said, yeah, we want our older kids to do this, and we're going to mess up nap time. And then the Lord provided a way for our older kids to do those activities and not mess up naps. So again, my encouragement there in terms of how do you handle keeping up with your big kids' activities and your little ones' naps is just pray for wisdom for the Lord. Talk about it with your husband, and just look at the needs of each of your kids. And, has your older child missed out on a lot in the last few years? Maybe it's time to let them participate in some activities and sacrifice some naps for the little ones. Or have they been involved in a ton of things and your little ones have taken the sacrifice, and now it's time to focus on those little ones and letting them have a schedule and routine and just have that security and those good naps. So hopefully I answered that question well enough for you. The second question is, do you go to a co-op or any other type of group for electives and PE and field trips? The answer to that is yes and no. Some years we do co-ops, some years we don't. And again, it comes back to prayerfully going before the Lord and saying, hey, Lord, what do you have for us this year? And asking the Lord for wisdom on what do our kids need? Do my kids need maybe some lab or some class that would be better provided by somebody else than me? Or do we need to stay home and not do that? For us, kind of the rhythm that we found with co-op is that we do co-op 1 year because we do enjoy it. My kids enjoy going to the classes. I enjoy seeing moms on a regular basis. My kids enjoy seeing other friends on a regular basis. And I like that they're getting, some other teaching from other people and just being able to interact in a group setting. And so we love co-op, but it burns us out. And usually by the end of the year, we're done. We do not want to do co-op next year. So the next year we don't do co-op, and we have this more relaxed, much more freeing school year, but we miss our friends, and I miss time with the moms, and my kids miss time with their friends there. And so we go, oh, next year we'll do co-op. And that's just kind of how it's been back and forth. We do co-op 1 year, and then we don't do it the next year. We have always been a part of a homeschool group, a support group though. So every single year we are a part of a homeschool support group where we get together for park days. They provide field trips, and sometimes we go on those field trips, sometimes we don't. And all of the support groups that I've been a part of have had something that has been such a blessing, and that is Mom's Night Out, where I can go and once a month and just be with other homeschool moms, and we can just share our burdens and our successes and encourage one another. So I've always been a part of some kind of homeschool support group. We just haven't always done a co-op in terms of classes. And then finally, what has changed the most in your homeschooling journey from the beginning to now? And I think the thing that has changed the most is my anxiety. My anxiety level over homeschooling has gone down significantly. I thought when I first started homeschooling, it was all on my shoulders. I had to teach everything. I had to do everything. I had to make sure there was absolutely no gaps in my children's education, that I covered every single topic in every single subject. And my goodness, it stressed me out. Not to mention the fact that I cared about what other people thought. And I thought, man, if they're critical of me homeschooling, I got to really prove them wrong and prove that I can do this. Wow, that was a weight and a burden on my shoulder, and it caused me so much anxiety. And so over the years now, going into my 15th year of homeschooling, having graduated one from homeschooling already and is doing well in college really has given me the confidence and lowered my anxiety level to realize that, number one, I don't have to do everything when it comes to homeschooling. When I signed up for homeschooling my kids, that didn't mean that I had to teach everything. It's not all on me. And so we have moved to some video instruction. We've moved to some online instruction. We've utilized co-ops. And sometimes my husband helps out. We've had other family members come in and teach art classes and math and things like that. So just realizing I don't have to do it all. I can outsource a little bit and save my sanity a little bit, reduce my anxiety level. That has been really nice. The second thing that's helped is realizing over the years that there is no possible way anybody could cover every single topic in every single subject. There are going to be gaps in my children's education. There were gaps in my education. There are going to be gaps in your children's education. It's just not humanly possible to cover everything. And realizing that and realizing that that's okay. Wow, what a stress relief that was for me. And then just knowing that the Lord is faithful to provide what my kids need. There have been so many times that I've had such anxiety that I'm failing my kids, that we're not getting what we need to get done. And I realized, if I'm coming before the Lord each day and saying, Lord, can you guide and direct my day? Show us what's the most important. Is it getting the English lesson done? Or maybe only doing half of the English lesson, only doing half of the problems on the page, not doing the English lesson at all because we need to address heart issues or relationships amongst my kids, or I need to invest in my relationship with my kids instead of sacrificing that relationship over getting the English lesson done. So just being faithful to go before the Lord and faithfully homeschool my kids as He guides and directs. If I'm doing that, then I know that I'm doing it well and I'm doing a good job, and I don't need to stress about not covering something or not getting something done or leaving gaps or anything like that. Actually, it's kind of funny, but my daughter, who's in college, she is a communications major. She's going to do creative writing and editing and things like that. And so what do you need to write and edit? You need English. You need grammar. Well, guess what the one subject that we didn't really cover very well in junior high and high school was? You guessed it. English and grammar and writing. We didn't get to that very much. I kind of dropped the ball on that, yet God has provided, and the little times, little things, He provided a class, a writing class in junior high and a creative writing class in high school for her. And God gave her the ability to absorb probably 4 years of writing instruction in that, year-long co-op class, because He knew that's what she needed for what He was calling her to do as an adult. And He knew what the future held, and He knew that I was going to drop the ball on those things because I was going to be on bed rest and have some difficult pregnancies. So the Lord provided. And so just being able to look back over the last 15 years and go, wow, God's faithful and He's provided. If I'm seeking Him and, trying my best, then that's all I can do. And just trusting the Lord to provide and meet our kids' needs and all of that. So that's probably the thing that has changed the most is my anxiety level. My anxiety has gone from way up here to, way down here because I just have more confidence in homeschooling my kids. So those are the 3 questions I was going to tackle today, but please leave your homeschooling questions down below and I will try to get to them in upcoming Homeschool Q&A videos. Make sure to subscribe and I will see you again really soon in another video. Bye-bye.